Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail, and yes, we are doing more Path of Exile. It's the Point 11 update, and we're going to be doing some Anarchy fun and goodness with a ranger. So let me go ahead and get this started. That's right, I haven't forgot Path of Exile. I've just been waiting for this update with bated breath like many people. So let me tell you a little bit about Anarchy first. You see this note says areas can have Rogue Exiles. It's a standard league, except that you can have super buffed kind of player-like enemies coming in and actually attacking you. Now, there are a lot of other updates for Path of Exile as well. There's some new UI updates. You can show many bars on enemy life that may or may not be new. It's been a little while since I played, but still, I'm excited to be back. It's like I said, I enjoy Path of Exile. It's the kind of game that's, I don't want to say I take it for granted, but it's the kind of thing that I was enjoying my playthrough before, but life got in the way. I thought, well, it's free, it'll be there. People are really supporting it, and the developers, Grinding Gear Games, have been awesome with this game so far, so it's never anything that I thought, okay, well, just screw that game, it's done. Unlike some other games that maybe I've been thinking of before. So, what is my plan here? I want to be doing Anarchy. I know I was doing a hardcore run before, and hardcore is fun, but the reason I didn't do Onslaught is, let me be honest here, I am not that great at this game. I haven't even made it that far on hardcore without dying, so I've done some races, I've done okay, but usually it's my carelessness that gets me killed more than anything. So, while I could do Onslaught, it's like a turbo league, but slightly nerfed and it lasts 4 months. I'd rather try something where maybe I can go at my own pace, show you all a little further in the game without me constantly dying and having to restart. So we're just going to do as relaxed as we can with Path of Exile, just kind of have some fun with it. Because Ranger is something I haven't done too much with, done a little bit of it. My plan here is to do eventually some kind of lightning arrow or elemental arrow build of some sort. But my first priorities are going to be to get poison arrow, fire trap,
my mana is gone,
and to not get slain by Hillock. Now the Anarchy League started today, so you're going to see some notices that say what people have been doing up here, and it's unfortunate that I can't show you what I was doing before because I did actually do a previous recording, I did have a previous character, I did get a previous start, but a recording error, codec error, actually kept me from fully being able to show and share the video, so we're doing another recording and kind of starting from scratch because I do want to show you from square one. You see I do have a few things here. I have a few gems already, but I'm not going to use any of those. We're just going to go as if we haven't touched this before, so that's my full disclosure there.
Fine work with Hillock.
Now, I do want to show you a few things for people that do not know Path of Exile. We're going to get Split Arrow just because it's good to have. So I actually did not get a level yet. I'm not going to until I turn in my...
I've seen you. Blind Eyes Watch isn't much.
Here. I'm still actually level 1.
There's an island.
So we'll get to the skill tree here momentarily. Let me go and show it to you. Just had it. I used to know all these hotkeys so well. Passive skill tree, there we go. If you've not seen the Path of Exile skill tree, here it is. Think Final Fantasy X on steroids. You can go all over the place. You don't get unlimited points, but as a ranger you start over here, and my goal is going to be to kind of go through here and start focusing on ranged attack. Now the Point 11 update did change a few things for the skill tree. You notice these are 6% instead of 8% life. The life nodes are still there. You still have things like Iron Reflexes, which are good and what I'm going for. Things like Diamond Flesh to increase elemental resistances, although that's 12% instead of 15. And I think there used to be a keystone there. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. It's been a while. But pretty much, I'm going to be going for some life first, but then I'm going to focus more on some ranged and elemental attack. And yeah, my other character did make it up to fitness before I stopped the recording and then realized, oh crap, things didn't record, so we're going to do this again. So, apologies if that's what you're looking for.
I've not seen a wilderness like this before. There'll be some dark days ahead.
Now, like I said before, Anarchy is a mode where it's like standard, except you will have
I'm still breathing.
random,
That's a good sign.
really bad, scary things invading your world. And they're supposed to be like super buff, crazy exiles that have different AI. So I definitely want to be on the lookout for that, but supposedly the encounters are pretty rare. They can appear here, but that doesn't mean they will appear here. But at least I do have some semblance of a margin of error, because I can die. Whereas before, when I was doing a Let's Play on hardcore mode, it's just that I've never been too great at hardcore mode in these kind of games. It's fun, I enjoy the pressure, but eventually when I just want to record something and I end up dying a bunch of times, it's not entirely the best environment. But I am going to handle this a little bit like I do races early on, in that I'm going to corner myself and get myself killed. That's usually how I actually do in races in this game. I don't have a lot of AoE yet. If I had gotten cleave or something beside the melee, I could. If I had actually went to the store like I should have and gotten a... let's see here. Do I actually have... Yeah, I have a gem that I'm not using. So, that's my fail. I could have maybe split arrows some of that, but those guys are so early, and they don't really do a lot for me. I mean, the experience
My mana
here
is gone.
okay. But the way Path of Exile leveling really works is that once you can level up in areas to about 5 levels up above. But there's some areas that are created more equal than others. And so you kind of want to focus on the areas that are a little easier leveling. So if it does look like I'm pussing out and running past some of these guys who are apparently desyncing a little bit, another issue with hardcore, although pretty much every time I've died it's been my own fault. Yeah, lots of zombies. Pretty easy. They're just gonna shamble up to me. Let me go ahead and drop split arrow in there. We'll put it on Q. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the skill system, you'll see that my gems are leveling up. Path of Exile is very different. One of the things that really appeals to me is the gem system, because you have a few different aspects to look at. You level up your skills by using them. It's not like some arbitrary experience level. Experience level is pretty much just for the passive skill tree and for what items you can use. And as long as your skill gem is equipped, you'll level it. Now you see some of these areas are linked and some of them are not. If I had another gem here, like with split arrow, I could put in another gem like lesser multiple projectiles, and instead of shooting 2 additional arrows, I'll be shooting more arrows, or I can add an elemental damage elemental damage gem. And unlike other games that I've played, you can actually pick up these gems, move them around however you want. You're not stuck or married with them. So, all good things to know. Now, I'll say up front that the skill gem system is a big appeal to me, but it does take a little bit of time to ramp up. Path of Exile, one of the criticisms I hear of it from time to time is that the combat is boring early. And that's true. It's not the most exciting combat ever early. Let's hear 3 to 10 damage, 3 to 10 damage doesn't do too much for me. 3 to 10. Rusted Cask. I'll take the... Nah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. That's all going to get replaced anyway. Iron Greaves, yeah. There's a lot to explain for people who don't know Path of Exile. What I'm doing is selling gear. There's no gold in this game, which is another thing that appeals to me. It's all currency. Scroll of Wisdom is one of your basic early bread and butter currency. Scroll fragments you use to make that. And there's a lot of other currency items like the stuff down here. Orbs of Augmentation, Blacksmith's Whetstone, those are things you can use to buy items. Those are things you can use to change items. And people are already in cruel difficulty, which is not a surprise because the Anarchy League's been going on for a few hours now. But yeah, pretty much, let's see here. So you have that, and we're just going to keep going and explain as we go. Actually, before I do that, since we're going to Nissa, one of the first things that I ran into last time is a severe lack of mana potions. So I'm going to drop 3 Scrolls of Wisdom just to get one of those, because I am a thirsty person. Now, I could use some of my scrolls of wisdom to get coral rings and stuff, but since this
Can't
isn't
see why I'd
hardcore,
want to do that here.
since this isn't hardcore, if I die, I'll just restart the area or respawn. It's not as huge of a penalty as, say, having to restart your character, because Lord knows I have lost more than characters I'd like to admit in the Mudflats in a race where I get surrounded by the wrong enemies, and what can I do? But back to another point I was making before. One of the complaints I hear about Path of Exile is that for some reason I'm not actually shooting an arrow, probably because I'm hitting A instead of the key I meant to hit, is that the combat's not as fun as, say, something like Diablo 3. And I know some people are going to groan and say, why are you talking about Diablo 3 here? But there's a lot to like about Diablo 3 if there just wasn't the real money auction house sullying the experience. I mean, it's not a perfect game, it's no Diablo 2, but there is a good game hiding in a terrible economy. And I hope they can figure it out for the console version that will not have a real money auction house. F you, Jay Wilson. But, I mean, with here, Path of Exile is, yeah, very much you push a button. You don't necessarily feel things exploding immediately. You don't feel like a witch doctor throwing a bunch of spiders early, or see, there's the guys charging. They're probably gonna hurt me pretty badly because I'm just talking instead of zigzagging. Like I said, I lose a lot of characters
The worms
here.
will have to wait a bit longer for this meal.
There we go. Not that much longer. Because I do wanna get some experience as I go around and try and kill these guys, but sometimes it's just not worth it. So here, I got that one. So level up this gem. Chainmail vest is good. I can sell that. There is a quest area up there that I'm not too interested in going into. I'll tell you why in just a little bit. Okay, so let's, before I get killed by all these guys. I really wish I had poison arrow right now. I tend not to engage these things until after I have poison arrow too much. Hardcore's taught me some good habits, maybe. Maybe. Let's see. You may notice in the bottom that my mana potions are leveling up too, and if you're unfamiliar with Path of Exile, the reason is because as you kill enemies, you get charges. And anytime you use a potion, you're essentially using a number of charges, and that guy's going to F me up if I'm not careful. So we don't actually want to go this way. Great, I've been running the wrong way this whole time. Cool. Yeah. So you can see here that as I kill things, supposedly, if I'm actually going to kill them, my charges will restore themselves, and eventually I'll be able to use these potions again. So the game rewards you actually for killing enemies instead of just running away. Actually, that was the area I want to go to. That little green stuff is exactly where I want to go. So that means I can live the dream and run away without getting killed by things that are charging me and doing massive bonus damage. So glyphs on the wall, run to the submerged passage, which also has a ton of little enemies running around, but at least they don't charge you and kill you. So it's here. If I have a portal scroll, and I don't... Wait, yes I do. Portal scroll, I'd normally like to save them. I'm stingy with them. But this one is going to be very important. So we are going to go ahead and use it. After I put my first skill point in, look, it's pretty basic right now. We're going for finesse. It's a larger node because it has a bigger bonus. 4% increased attack speed and 30 dexterity. All things we want. Dexterity is very important because it's a primary skill stat. Not just that, oh, pretty little bird there, Kiwi. Not just as a primary skill stat, but because skill gems require that you have certain stats. So let's get Poison Arrow, which I can actually use. You see some of these are rented out because I'm actually not high enough level. I am kind of in my, not at my race pace, but kind of my race mentality. I'm only level 3. So put out another gem, and we are going to replace Burning Arrow with Poison Arrow as our primary attack, and we'll just put Burning Arrow there. So here we go.
What little help I can offer is yours.
Here, let's sell all those, and we'll get another Scroll of Wisdom. And now, let's show you just how much more effective I am at killing things now that I actually do have a skill I can use. Poison Arrow is a great early skill. I don't know if they've really buffed it much or anything since I played last time, but it's still good early because it helps you clear rooms, helps you clear big packs of enemies because it does chaos damage, which chaos damage is pretty much just poison. And I'm taking a lot of damage here. And I think that's just because my armor's pretty weak right now. So yeah, I can actually kill things. Yay. And you'll see how important it is to be able to clear packs of enemies in this area. Like, I've been surrounded by things before. I had actually a really good race going one time. I guess it's a little too early to say that I died here, but I got surrounded just because I got over-aggressive cleaving. But that's one reason I chose a ranger, is because in these kind of games I tend to do better with long range. The .11 update did give a lot of melee buffs, and I'm excited to try that too, but I just wanted to do a ranger because it's a class I like. And sometimes you can't just stop actually liking something. And that's really, it's a game. You should play it because you want to, not because you're trying to min-max. Although if min-maxing is what you want to do, then by all means do that. So this is an area that can have Rogue Exiles as well. And you can see here that I have just effed up and gotten myself surrounded, but because I have Poison Arrow, I am not penalized for that so much. Those guys are dying in that cloud of poison. There is a direct damage element to the poison cloud, as you see there. And then there's a like 3.5 second dot that if you're in the cloud at any time, you take the damage. So, another skill point. Cool, cool, cool. If I was in an actual race, I would wait to allocate those skill points till later, but since we're not, we're just going to take the time with it. My goal here is pretty much just to make it to the ledge waypoint first. And this should go a little smoother than the last time I was trying this because I didn't get lower prison already. Good job, fuck Flood Depths. That is a, that's a timely name. We're not going to go to the Flooded Depths right now. Why? Let me show you the map. No, that's not the map. That's the money. That's the real money store button. Gotta remember my hotkeys here. Skill panel, close tab, inventory, world map panel. So you see we're kind of on a main line, and this is just for people who don't know the game as much. This area right here is a side area that we skipped. This area is a side area that we skipped. I have a quest here. I'll get back there. That's this quest. I have a quest there. I may do that. I'm not a great fan of that quest. Dweller of the Deep is another quest that I can do there. These side areas are much harder than the main track. On hardcore, I tend to avoid them until I overlevel them and come back, and I'm gonna kind of do the same thing here just because the area after this, the ledge, is just a good place to level in general. So let's see here. My health got surprisingly low there. So that's why I'm kind of ignoring some of those areas for now. I probably could do them. Probably could do pretty good with them, especially with Poison Arrow. But I'm trying to level efficiently because that's how I enjoy the game. So yay, there's a waypoint. That'll make it traveling back to the depths easier. That is actually a waypoint that I did not find the last time I tried to record, and I really hope this recording works this time. Really do. I want to be able to record Path of Exile. I don't want errors, which is another reason that I stopped before, because I kept trying to record races, and the recordings kept crapping out. By the way, if you're wondering why someone gets to have a name Fuck Flood Depths, that's because the developers Grinding Gear Games are from New Zealand, and New Zealand doesn't give a shit about bad language. Pretty much you can name yourself almost whatever you want, except for the usual standard racial epithets, but offensive language, I mean, this is a game with, if you've seen Act 3, you know what kind of stuff they have just laying around, but yeah, it's language is kind of the least of your concern for this game. Or maybe I'm just an amoral person that doesn't give a fuck. I mean, it is just words. Double strike. Maybe if I do a class that uses it that's not going to be my ranged ranger, then we'll take care of it. I'm gonna just make these guys run through all the stuff. Pretty standard. And I'm just picking up these white items, even though I'm not going to use them, just to vendor them. Because you do want currency, you do want to get Scrolls of Wisdom, because that way you can identify things sometimes, but more importantly, if there's an item in the store you want, sometimes it's just going to be scrolls, and easy enough to get. So, Daughter of Merveil. That blue tone around her life bar, by the way, is Energy Shield. And Chaos Damage ignores Energy Shield, so that's another added benefit to Chaos Damage. Of course, there is a... well, let me go ahead and do this. There is a skill node that you can get. They're called Keystones, that will allow you to ignore Chaos Damage. It just sets your actual life meter to 1. Which may make some people wonder, why the F would you do that ever? Let's see here. Did they change that since the last time I played it? Don't think they did. Eldritch Battery, no. Chaos Inoculation. Maximum life becomes 1, immune to Chaos Damage. That just means you're relying totally on Energy Shield to try and get through. And there are some Chaos Resistant, Chaos Immune enemies in here, but not the Merveil Daughters. Yay. So just keep on going. Let's split arrows, not something I really use, and I really don't want to be surrounded right here. So I do have split arrow as well. Might as well use it. That would be a big hardcore no-no that I just did. Just kind of walked with something and derped it up. But it's Anarchy. My bigger concern is a Rogue Exile going to try and chop my face off? And the answer is probably going to be, I will pee and it will kill me. So here's the ledge. We're just going to get to the waypoint for the ledge. We'll backtrack the next episode once we level up in the ledge a little bit. You'll see the monster level 7. I'm level 4. And I may sound like I'm underleveled here, but with Poison Arrow and a lot of classes have abilities that can do this, these skeletons are really good to farm. Actually, in the early times,
brings strength.
People were doing...
That's nature for you.
The early times people are doing 1-hour races. They tend to, and maybe some people still do this, I don't know the metagame that well. They would actually get to the ledge as fast as possible and just level. And as long as you're about 4 levels up, so as long as you're at least level 3, maybe level 4, you can do this pretty efficiently. And you can level here pretty efficiently all the way to like level 10. But for now, I just want to do this a little bit. Alright, warp mitts with 2 linked green sockets. I'll take that. Have to say though, it's like I said, it's been a little while since I played. I really like the addition of not only poison arrow, but now I can see actually how poisoned my enemies are. I remember feeling a little lost with that when I was doing some work with my Templar before, because I just didn't know who I was hurting with my lightning strikes or how much, just that I need to keep healing everybody. I'm wondering, maybe I will go Lightning Arrow here. I know it's kind of a standard elemental build, but I'm sorry, Lightning Arrow just looks so cool. So let's see here, just trying to kill some skeletons. You'll see here there's some cliff people that are actually resistant to chaos. That doesn't mean they're immune. It just means that I have to use some other methods of direct damage. Now, this area can have Rogue Exiles as well, and it's random. They're not supposed to be common, so if they show up, we'll have ourselves a good time. But if they don't, just we'll have the promise of eventually I will get overrun. There we go, Poison Arrow leveling up. We always want to do that. And that is a slowdown aura for me. Doesn't really matter too much. We're just going to keep poison arrowing. We're probably almost at the waypoint now. Not quite, but we're almost there. See that big pack of enemies? See how fast my experience bar is just shooting up from this area. And it's so easy to hit so many things because if they walk in the poison cloud...
My mana is gone.
Yeah, shut up. If they walk in the poison cloud, they get hurt. So these guys will shamble after you, even the ranged guys to an extent. So yeah, this is leveling at its finest if I don't get myself killed first, because I just remembered, hey wait, all that nice armor I've been picking up I'm not actually using yet. There we go, so level 6. Those are some fast levels. Just gotta keep going around, get some spoils, scroll of wisdom, scroll of whatever, orb of something something. So your short bow, 11 to 14 damage, 1 green socket, so that's a little bit of an upgrade. I don't remember if poison arrow, I think poison arrow ignores weapon damage, but I'm not sure. Or it may only be factored into the direct hit. I know the dot is just the dot. So let's go ahead and, so your short bow, 3 to 10, better than the crude bow, so we'll sell that. It's a minor damage upgrade, but a damage upgrade just the same. Scale vest, I just want to not be hurt as much. Warp mitts. Adds 1 to 2 physical damage, 3 life gain on killing an enemy. That's not bad. Especially with my stuff here. Might as well go ahead and get the skill point. Finesse. Plus 30 dexterity. You can see that there. 1 dexterity is 2 accuracy. 5 dexterity is 1 evasion. Another nice thing about Poison Cloud is that you don't have to worry about accuracy for that. But it's not something that really scales well later in the game or with multiple players, which is why I am going for some other kind of element build instead of just a chaos build. Have they actually upped what you can do with the arrow? I don't know. It looks like the direct hit seems to be more effective than what I remember, but so your glass shank. I'm still picking up items because I want to get scrolls. Scrolls, incidentally, also a game that I'm doing a Let's Play series on by the Mojang people who brought you Minecraft. It is a collectible card game. It's good. Yeah, I'm picking up in a few new games or new series, but Path of Exile is something that I've had my eye on for a while, and I'm very excited to get backing you all more here. I'm just going to do some town inventory stuff, and then we'll continue next time. Fighting on the ledge, leveling up, backtracking to do some quests, and then hopefully running into some Rogue Exiles. But that doesn't seem to be in the cards today, but it's still early, so this is way to fail. This is Path of Exile. I'm happy to be back. It is a great game. It costs nothing to play, so definitely pick it up. It is not pay to win at all, so support Grinding Cure Games, check it out, and maybe I'll see you online. Till next time.